everybody, this is Psydev. I'm here to talk about my Torpedo balance articles and to tell you about this spreadsheet that I have included along with the article. If you go to the article at the very bottom, there's a link to this spreadsheet, and I'm just going to describe how it works to you now. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and I think that the things that I said in my recent articles wouldn't have made very much sense if I hadn't included a chart with them. There's many charts that show various things, mostly the damage that torpedoes do relative to their cost in both mega credits and in minerals. This spreadsheet here will allow you to play with the values yourself, and then you can sort of compare on your own time what different values look like. So the sets of data that I've included are the classic game here. And then there's Joshua's changes that came out this year. When you switch back and forth between classic and Joshua's changes, you'll see that the chart will change. So in this case, we see that the price of the Mark II and the Mark III went down here in terms of their mega credit cost. And then there's some other corresponding costs that changed, like the cost per mine. And then I've written 2 articles suggesting a balance change for torpedo costs. The first article was on the mega credit costs, and then the second article was on the mineral costs, along with some mine laying adjustments too. So if you now click on this new data set, Psydev's mega credit change proposal, you will see that a couple other torpedoes have also gone down in price, namely the Mark V and the Mark VI. Again, this chart here shows the cost per damage, and this red line here is the actual damage itself. So I'm going to go back to the old one just to switch back and forth. You can see what has changed. You can go back and forth using Control Z and Control Y to undo a change and redo a change, and that will go to the last one that you selected. You'll also notice that the Gamma bomb has had a cost reduction, as I suggested for this data set, and that caused their cost per mine to also go down. And then lastly, there's my mineral article, which was the last one I wrote. And you'll see quite a big change there. I'm gonna go back again and show you it. So basically what happened is that the mineral costs of the Mark I to Mark III went way down. This chart actually doesn't fully show it, but these bars on the left are way off the chart. And then after the mineral change I proposed, they're still higher than the high-tech torpedoes, but they're relatively low. They're now affordable. So on the right here in the red is the mineral costs. On the top is the cost per damage, and then on the bottom is the cost per mine. And I did also make some mine laying value adjustment propositions for the Mark I and Proton, and the Mark III as well. So you can see on the left of the cost per mine that the cost went way down for the Mark I and the Proton here, and ever so slightly for the Mark III. You can't really see it though. So in case you're interested, the values are stored down here. In case you're not familiar with the different torpedoes, it has the price and then the damage in terawatts, the number of mines, and then finally the mineral cost. So when I select a new setting up here, all these values will change. And if you wanted, you could even start doing your own customization. So if you were asking, what would happen if the cost of the Mark V were divided by half? then you would see a drop here under the Mark V, and then that would be reflected in the mega credit cost per line and in the mega credit cost per damage. So if you wanted, you could fiddle around and try different balance situations if you want. Like I've tried doubling the power of the Mark IV. Now you can see this huge spike here, and of course the cost went way down. And but if you want to start fiddling with that, you'll have to make a copy of the sheet yourself, because this sheet is actually restricted to not let people edit it like that. But you can download a copy of this spreadsheet and you can start fiddling with it yourself. Or you can make a copy of this Google sheet to your Google account. So I hope this is useful. I hope that data visualization makes it easier to understand, what the stats look like in VGA Planets, and also where I'm coming from in, suggesting these proposals to reform them a bit. I hope you guys find this useful, and if you have any feedback, just feel free to leave a comment wherever, in the forums or on the YouTube website, and I would appreciate that. All right, guys, this is the spreadsheet. I hope you enjoy it and make some use of it. Have a good one.